Good morning, friends. Today we are going to see the next part of this unit. In the last lecture, we have started molecular fluorescence and phosphorescence spectroscopy. We talk about the fluorescence and the phosphorescence, their theory and the principle. Then we have seen the Jablonski diagram, how the fluorescence and the phosphorescence taking place in the molecule, and molecule how molecule will shows the phosphorescence and the fluorescence that we have seen. Again we have seen about the relationship of fluorescence intensity with the concentration. Then today we are going to see factors affecting the fluorescence and the phosphorescence. As we know, this intensity of the fluorescent and the fluorescence and the phosphorescence can be exhibited by substance depends on the number of factors. First factor will be the molecule which shows the fluorescent and the phosphorescent intensity have been found to change with the temperature and the pH of the solution. That we have seen, I think so. Factors also we have seen in the last lecture. Today we are going to see the instrumentation and the application of the fluorometry. Here we are talking about the single beam fluorometer and the double beam fluorometer. Fluorometry or say fluorometer. Instrument used for this particular analysis is nothing but the fluorometer. Here the source of the exciting radiation is a mercury vapor lamp which gives the UV light. The light from the source is passed through the collimating lens and then through the primary filter. This filter transmits the part of the beam which will excite fluorescence. The selected radiation or say light passes through the sample solution placed in the sample container. You can see here the diagram has been shown. Here you can see this is the source, mercury vapor lamp, then collimating lens is there, primary filter is there, focusing lens is there, sample holder is there, again the collimating lens is there, okay, secondary filter is there, then focusing lens, photomultiplier tip and readout device. What happens then? The sample emits fluorescent radiation in all directions. This beam emerges at right angles to the direction of the incidence beam. The emitted radiation reaches a secondary filter which isolates fluorescent beam from the incident radiation. After passing through this filter, the filtered radiation reaches to PMT. The current generated is read on some detecting device like the galvanometer, which gives you the fluorescent intensity. Scattered light is of the longer wavelength than the incident light. This is a diagram, very simple. It is what we are going to do. We are using a mercury vapor lamp. The radiation or the light, it will give the UV light which will have the multiple direction. Collimating lens is there which will pass this to the primary filter. It will select the appropriate wavelength which will focus on the sample, then sample. After the sample, it will give you the another radiation that will passes through the collimating lens to the secondary filter, which will choose the fluorescent radiation and which will send to the PMT. The current of this particular radiation, the current generated by this radiation will be generated in the PMT and which will read on the device, there is a galvanometer, which will correlate to the fluorescent intensity. Then what is the difference between the double and the single beam fluorometer, that we will see. But before to that, I think so you got this concept well. What we have seen here, very simple arrangement is there for the fluorometry, single beam fluorometry. Source mercury vapor lamp is there which produce the UV light, and that UV light will be collimated to the collimating lens and pass through the primary filter. Primary filter will select the appropriate wavelength which will focus by the focusing lens to the sample holder. Then sample holder will generate another radiation of light that will send to the collimating lens, then to the secondary filter which will select the fluorescent light, and it will send to the PMT where the current is generated, and that current will read on the readout device which will correlate to the fluorescence intensity. Very simple. Then the double beam fluorimeter, very simple it is again. See here, mercury vapor lamp is there, lens is there, collimating lens, primary filter is there. Here the two things we are taking, one is a sample and here is a blank, and then we will taking the whatever the fluorescent light coming from this particular two blank and the sample will send to the another lens, okay, collimating lens, and it will send to the PMT, then the readout device. Here secondary filter will be there, and through this secondary filter it will goes to the, this is the collimating lens, okay, and here secondary filter is there which will send to the PMT and this. Double beam fluorimeter are similar in construction but with any different that the exciting radiation is split into the two beams, one passing through the sample and other passing through the blank. Double beam instrument eliminate errors due to change in intensity of the incident beam due to the voltage fluctuation. Fluctuation spelling, check that fluctuation. FLUCTI, fluctuation. FLUCTUTION, fluctuation. Okay, working and procedure. A series of the solution of experimental sample of the known concentration is prepared. The fluorescent intensity of each of these is determined with reference to the blank taken as 0. The calibration graph is plotted for the F versus concentration. The graph will be linear. The fluorescent intensity of the experimental solution is then plotted. The concentration of that solution, concentration of the sample solution can be determined from the graph. Okay, very simple it is. There is no complication. Application fluorimetry is convenient method of the quantitative analysis at concentration ranges much lower than spectrophotometric determination. Metals can be detected by estimating fluorescent intensity of their fluorescent organic complexes. Example is given. Uranium can be determined by measuring the fluorescent intensity of its compound. 8-hydroxyquinoline forms a fluorescent complex with the aluminum, beryllium, zinc ions. Cadmium forms a bright blue fluorescent complex with the 2-hydroxyl benzoxazole. Another method of inorganic fluorimetry is based on the decrease of fluorescence as a result of the quenching action of the substance being determined. This has been used for estimation of anions. Iodine has been detected by virtue of the ability to decrease the fluorescence. Fluorimetry is useful in organic and biochemical analysis. Vitamins B1 and B2 can be estimated. The aqueous solution of vitamin B2 is fluorescent and can be directly determined. Vitamin B1 is non-fluorescent but its oxidation product thiochrome in alkaline solution fluoresces with an intense blue color. The organic substances like the cysteine, guanidine, salicylic acid and uric acid can be determined using a fluorimetry. Medicinal compounds such as the steroids, phenobarbital, chloroquine and adrenaline can be estimated. Fluorescent indicator are a substance which fluoresces a particular color depending on the pH of the solution. These indicators can be used in the titration of the intensely colored solution. Example, eosine shows a green fluorescence in the pH range 3 to 4. Fluorescence shows a green Uh, Fluorescence shows the green fluorescence in the pH 4 to 6. Fluorometric reagents are used for a number of cation analysis. Hydroxyquinone is for the elimination. Benzoin is used for zinc. Both these reagents form chelates with the metal and these exhibit. These are the certain applications of the fluorometry. Very simple. It is, again we will see what is there. I said here we are using the mercury lamp, which will give the UV light. That UV light is passed through the collimating lens, which will collimate the light. Then it will send to the primary filter, which will select the particular wavelength, and which will again pass through the focusing lens to the sample. Then sample will produce the another radiation or say light that will send to the collimating lens to the secondary filter, which will select the fluorescent light, and it will focus to the PMT where the current will generated, and there will be the amplification will take place, and it will send to the readout device to read the fluorescent intensity. Very simple. Whatever is there, that is I discuss again in the short. Okay. Then in the double beam fluorimetry, what is the difference? Here we are taking that beam has been split up into the two ways. One will pass to the sample solution and another will pass to the blank solution. Okay, see here, that is the difference. Double beam fluorimeter are similar in construction with any the single beam fluorimeter, but with any different. But the difference is that the emitting radiation is split into the two beams, one passing through the sample and other through the blank. Double beam instrument eliminate errors due to the change in the intensity of the incident beam due to the voltage fluctuation. Now working and procedure, that the same procedure is there. What is there? Mercury vapor lamp is there, which will give you the light. That light will pass through the collimating lens to the primary filter, which will pass this light with the focusing lens to the sample solution and the blank, and then the light resulting from this particular sample and the blank will again collimated to the collimating lens and pass through the primary filter, then focus on the PMT to the readout device. Got this point? And it will give you the fluorescent intensity. Series of the same way we are preparing the solution of the experimental substance of the known concentration. Then the fluorescent intensity of the each of these is determined with reference to the blank taken as a 0. Calibration graph is plotted for the process concentration graph will be linear. The fluorescent intensity of the experimental solution is then found. The concentration of the unknown sample can be determined from the graph. As far as the application point of view it is a concern, any 5 applications you have to write in the exam. Fluorimetry is convenient method of quantitative analysis at concentration much lower than the spectrophotometric determination that we have seen. Then metal science can be detected by estimating fluorescent intensity of their fluorescent organic complexes. Examples are given. Any one example you can write down in the exam. Uranium can be determined by measuring the fluorescent intensity of its compound. 8-hydroxyquinoline forms a fluorescent complex with the aluminum, beryllium, zinc against. Cadmium forms a bright blue fluorescent complex with the 2-hydroxyl benzhexazole. Another method of inorganic fluorimetry is based on the decrease of the fluorescence as a result of the quenching action of the substance being determined. This has been used for estimation of the anions. Here example is given. Iodine have been detected by virtue of its ability to decrease the fluorescence. Fluorimetry is useful in organic and biochemical analysis Vitamins B1 and B2 can be estimated. In detail, it is given the aqueous solution of the vitamin B2 is fluorescent and can be directly determined, whereas the vitamin B1 is non-fluorescent, but its oxidation product, that is a thiochrome in alkaline solution, fluoresces with an intense blue color. Then the organic substance like the cysteine, guanidine, salicylic acid and the uric acid can be determined using the fluorometry. Medicinal compounds such as steroids, phenobarbital, chloroquine and adrenaline can be estimated easily. Fluorescent indicators are a substance which fluoresces a particular color depending on the pH of the solution. These indicators can be used in the titration of the intensely colored solution. Using is given, fluorescence is given. These are two examples. Then the fluorometric reagent are used for a number of pattern analysis. Example is hydroxyquinoline is used for the aluminium and lithium. Then benzoin is used for the zinc. Both these reagents means benzoin is used for zinc. They form the chelates with the metal. And when it chelates with the metal and exhibit the fluorescence. Okay. You have to prepare this part well. Very simple it is. If you have any doubt, you can ask. See, very simple it is again. Diagram you have to remember. From the diagram you have to write their construction and the working. Okay. Instrumentation and application of the fluorometry, single beam and double beam. Okay. Their application also we have seen. We try to do it well. This diagram you have to remember, very simple diagram is there for the single beam, same diagram is there for the double beam. Instead of this there is a sample solution and a blind solution, that you have to remember the difference. Okay, all other things are the same. Why in the double beam you have done this like this arrangement? Because which will eliminate the errors due to change in the intensity of the incident beam due to the voltage fluctuation. That's why this particular light from the hollow cathode lamp is sent to the blank as well as the sample solution. Okay. Then we have seen the applications. 9 applications are there. Out of that, when they in the exam they ask that write the applications of the fluorometric analysis of the fluorometry, single beam or double beam, whatever it may be, the applications will be the same. What are the applications? 9 applications we have seen. Out of that you have to write the any 5 applications in the exam. Got this point? You have any difficulty, you have any doubt, you can please ask on the WhatsApp group or say Google Classroom. See here, you have to daily read this particular part. Whenever, if you are not reading this part, then it is very difficult to remember. Reading is very much important for this particular paper, or say any paper, analytical, physical, whatever it may be. And you have to try to remember this thing by writing it again and again with the pencil, because you will remember this part then and then only. When you are writing it again and again, then and then only you can recall these particular things very well. Please try to read daily this part. Very simple things are there. If you are reading it daily, then there will be no problem. The one question will be there on the fluorometry, phosphorometry, 5 marks question will be there. Their applications also, their technique. Maybe 2 questions will be there. Okay. Please prepare it well. If you have any problem, if you are not getting, I will explain it again. Please go through all this lecture well. Okay. Just you have to understand this, the difference. You are not asked to write whatever given similar to this, write as similar to the notes. You can write in your own words. You can try at your own. Okay, wording you can wrap in your own. We will stop here. Thank you.